Ba, 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 da, 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 da. There we go. Hi, everybody. Hi, Lizzie. Give me just a second. I'm just getting set up. Oh, a rose. Thank you. I don't have them anymore. I picked some roses on my bike ride this morning. I had them in my hair earlier. Hi, Kathy. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Do, 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 do. What's up, everybody? Join my team. I have a rose crown. The Margan, hi. Christy, hi. You guys ready to watch this finale with me? Oh boy. It's gonna be wild. Give me just a second. I'm watching it on Amazon using the Discover add-on. Hang on, I need to get my glasses. I'm so blind. Happy Sunday. How's everybody's Sunday? Giddy Pony, hello. Mayne, happy stance, hello. User 157673321. Guerra, hello. There we go. Recovering from a night out. Ooh, that sounds fun. What'd you do? Saturday night should be a night out. Daryl Watts. How's it going? Ray McKeel. Hi, Kara. Thanks for being an early fan. Papa Great, Mirza, Myrna. Welcome, everybody. A day in bed doing your family tree. That sounds very Mormon of you. I did my family tree recently, and I learned that my family, at least the Brown family, is from this little fishing village in Scotland. And I told my kids that. And now anytime anyone says Scotland, we all talk in in fake Scottish accents. And we go, Scotland forever! Because we think it's funny. And then we do air guitar, but air bagpipes. It's super obnoxious. Lizzie, thanks for subscribing. I hope you joined the Celestial Kingdom so you can get up there. They might be addictive. The problem is that we are not good at them. None of us can do. So it just sounds, super offensive. It's great. Okay. You guys ready to do this? So we are on, I'm going to do a drinking game because it's Sunday. It's brunch time. And, we're going to play with that. Hey, Shrimp Dad, thanks for the rose. And the drinking game that we're going to play is I have a little, fingers of whiskey. This is Elijah Craig bourbon. Oh, it smells so good. I am going to take a sip, just a sip, anytime Robin is crying. And you can join it, do a coffee or something. I don't know. I imagine that because it's her wedding, she's probably going to cry a lot. We'll see. Oh, look at hello, join my team, y'all. Best get a stomach pump ready. I'll just give myself a priesthood blessing. Okay. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that this is looking good. I want to make sure that Okay, sweet. Well, so I'm just gonna start it, and what I'm gonna do is watch it, and if I have thoughts, thanks, David. That's a nice thing. Hello, Giggles. Thanks for subscribing. If I have thoughts or comments or something, I'll just pause it. I think you might be able to. Hey, Sam. Oh yes, thank you. I am the pretend prophet of Mormonism, and I think I'm doing a fabulous job pretending to be the prophet, because if they want to play pretend, I can pretend way better than them. Okay, here we go. Sister Wives, Season 1, Episode 7. The big day is finally here. Oh, God. Cody and his wives officially make Robin wife number 4. The extraordinary family celebrates the newest additions to their family and prepare to embark on a new chapter of their lives. Just right before we start, I don't know what the word is for this. In my mind, the word that I use is future faking. It's not quite that. Hey, Marissa, thanks for joining. Because I learned future faking in therapy, recovering from some narcissistic abuse, and so future faking is where the narcissist tells you about this beautiful future that's going to happen, but it never actually happens, and so you live in this future, and then you never get there. So I don't know that that's quite exactly what it is, because it's not necessarily, but it's more like present faking, I guess. They're like the officially make the big day, like they're all trying to be super excited about it, and it's just not. Okay, here we go. Thanks. Here we go. Enough intro. Resume. Loading.
It's night out. I remember this one.
Gotta restart. This is interesting because this is 2010, I think, 2010. I was freshly married, I think.
Wedding, so just guys' night out.
I remember this one time making him eggs and put the pepper on it. He's like, that's okay. Christine will show you. The address on the announcement is wrong. Don't lie, please.
I hate that. Christine will show you how to make my eggs. Oh. Also, what is wrong with pepper on on eggs? Pepper is great.
It was literally kind of a coming out party for us. This one event was really where most people were going to meet us as we were.
Oh, hang on. I might be there. So right in this little dance party right at the beginning. Let's see if I...
It was literally kind of a coming out party for us.
Savannah's crying. That's... Okay, here we go. Who do I know here? That's my sister, Amber. That's my grandma. There's, I think that's my sister, Jenny. Right there. Oh, and that's my brother, Samuel. Okay, yeah, so here we are. Yeah, like seriously, like Christine doesn't have enough to do with raising all of the children to also show Robin how to make Cody his eggs. Yeah, I am. I'm Cody's oldest brother's son. So my grandma is Cody's mom. It's my grandma Janelle, who I love. She is especially right now. She's easily one of my favorite family members because she's a little. Everyone says that she's senile and that she's not all there, but every time I talk to her, she is sharp and she remembers me. And I just love her. She's adorable. She just went to New York was like a dream come true for her. She told me this hilarious story about how she, when she was a teenager, she wanted to have big boobs. And so she would do these exercises. I must increase my bust. And she did that. And I was like, oh my God, Grandma, you are adorable. Okay, here we go. Back to
I believed in living this lifestyle. It just makes each of us better.
I expected there would be other wives
this music in the intro gets creepy because it's all like happy, but it feels like a horror. It feels like a happy horror film. You all did that? That's a Jody Bloom book. I don't know what that is, but I need a. Day before Cody and Robin's wedding.
So we're just guys' night out. Logan's pretty much a man, so I'm letting him go out with the men tonight since it's not a bachelor party.
Logan's pretty much a man. He's like 14.
Yeah, no, we got a couple bachelors. Every once in a while, you just need to go out with the guys and heal up, you know, get away from all the estrogen. Fortunately, I prefer the presence of women to that of men, but once in a while, it's just good to hang out with the guys.
I don't even know what to say to that.
The night before the wedding, and none of them are pleased. Well, walk out now, no cheating. Oh, look at those guns, man. He's just making me look good. I'd be happy with just one normal woman, but he's got 3. I got a bunch of single friends, girls, that are coming to the reception of mine.
They gossip worse than anything I've ever known.
There were no dancing girls, no beer.
My son was only 16. There better not have.
He was 16.
Let's go.
Guys Night Out. That's a weird name for a bachelor party. Let's see what. Oh, they're not even going to show it.
So.
Okay, no. This is Robin. Bridal shower.
Something from the girls. This says Cody survival kit. First off, celery. Cody loves celery.
Oh my God, what a shitty. Oh. Happy marriage, Robin. Here's. I don't know if it's here's how to keep Cody happy or if it's like here's how to survive Cody. There's a part of me that thinks that's kind of cute and funny. Like, cause there's, you know, like sometimes you bag on people that you love and there's like this undercurrent of like, hey, we have this strong relationship so I can roast you a little bit. It's like the energy of a roast. Sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes it feels like there's this energy of like, I can't actually say this real thing. So I'm going to say it in a funny way, like I'm kidding, but I really mean it. And that is, that's harsh. Courtney, thanks for subscribing.
Like, do you have celery? And then salt. Because the boy loves salt on his food. He doesn't like pepper. I remember this one time making him eggs and putting pepper on it. He's like, oh, you put pepper on it. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's okay. Christine will show you how to make my eggs. He may come across as high maintenance, but he's worth it.
He may.
For you. I mean, if you look.
Who's the bride? Who's the bride in this marriage? High maintenance. Oh man. If you look at Cody and he should make his own damn eggs. Yeah. Like, but he can't, he's too busy being a dad to 85 children. Like he's got roid rage. I imagine that because Cody does seem like he's having a lot of fun in this season. And I imagine that he probably had an idea of what this was going to be like and the way it was going to be received. And the longer the show went on and the more it wasn't received that way, I imagine the more upset and kind of angry he got. So, because I mean, if you put yourself out, if you have a good opinion of yourself and then you put yourself out into national television and then everybody hates you, like, oh, love that sticker, then yeah, I mean that's gonna impact your feelings for sure.
Cody, in all his relationships, he tries to meet everybody's expectations and as much as possible. And so I was sitting there, I'm like, it's totally worth it. So, no pepper, man, no big deal, no sweat. I can do that.
That's kind of sweet. Like, yeah, you should let little things like that slide in the relationship. Also, I don't know that pepper is the problem. I don't know that the problem. with that relationship is that he doesn't like pepper.
I told him it was gonna rain, but I didn't believe it. I'm like, Heavenly Father wouldn't do that to us.
We know it's the clouds. They were there. They were rolling in. It was getting dark. It was getting gloomy.
And that wasn't metaphorically speaking. That really was happening.
That's how my heart felt.
Ooh, yeah, see, there it is. That's that, Mary. That's dark and gloomy. That's how my heart felt. That's a joke that is actually the truth, right? So I can't actually say how I feel about this, which is I'm heartbroken. But that energy has to move out of me. So I say it in a way that's funny, right? I think that's why polygamists actually are really funny people. They have pretty great senses of humor. Mormons do too. And I think that a lot of that is because it's a way to express feelings and thoughts that would otherwise be not okay to do that, right? Like you can't actually say how you feel, so you have to make a joke about it, and then that joke lets some of that energy move. But you're not actually saying how you really feel, which is if Mary was being honest right there, I think she would say, this sucks. Like you're about to have a big, awesome wedding with someone who's a lot younger than me and with whom you have a much better connection than you have with me. And that makes me feel sad. And that makes me feel abandoned. And I don't like it. It makes me feel gloomy inside. This is episode 7. I'm at 3 minutes and 34 seconds in. So we're just cruising. Did I ever sense gaydar from Cody? His high school mates always said they thought he was gay. No, but I do remember when he lived in Wyoming, he would often refer to himself as a metrosexual. And this was like, this was in like the 90s, I think. So I don't even know that I knew what that term was. But, I don't know. People think I'm gay too. The pigtails don't help. And I'm I'm definitely queer somehow. But yeah, I don't know. I imagine that I think everyone's a little gay. And when you have to conform to rigid standards of behavior that require you to be a certain way, then that energy that might express that might just express in like me. Like I like to be just a little effeminate sometimes. I like today I picked a flower, I put the flower in my hair. That's it. To me, it's actually, someone earlier made a comment about peacocking. That's how it feels to me. Like it feels actually kind of masculine to me to be pretty or to sort of like peacock, right? And so that's just how I naturally express. And I think that if you can't do that, then you sort of are rigid in this way that you're supposed to look. And then that energy kind of leaks out in weird ways. And then, and so that might be what people are picking up on, is it's not that he's gay or not gay. It's that there's probably aspects of his authentic self-expression that aren't expressing. And so they're sort of leaking out, if that makes sense. I would love to be a therapist. I want to get some certification because I want to actually help. Part of the vision of what I have for my life is using comedy as a vehicle to sort of help people deconstruct and heal from cults. And so there's some life coaching training in there. There's probably, I want to do some Qigong training that's sort of like physical and embodied. And I'd love to do some, I think I'd really enjoy being a therapist. Thanks. I really like this shirt. This was a gift to me from a friend. There was like a group of friends that I had in St. George, and for one Christmas, a couple of them gave us all our own unique shirts that said something AF. And they gave me this, and I was like, oh, you see me. someone asked me what my sign is. I'm a Gemini, but please don't judge me. I'm a good Gemini. My rising is Libra. So I'm a Gemini with a Libra rising, which means that my Gemini energy is sort of filtered through, hang on just a second. I'm going to turn this off so I don't get that. It's sort of filtered through justice. So all of that crazy Gemini energy gets focused into, we got to make the world a fair and safe place. Oh, I love Leos. Leos are my favorite. I am single, yes. Well, I'm single, but right now I'm kind of playing with poly, and so I have a couple of like partners that I play with, but I don't have like a life partner right now, and that's sort of intentional. Right now I'm fresh out of a divorce of marriage of 13 years, and I didn't explore relationships hardly at all before I got married. I got married really young when I was 20. And so right now I'm sort of intentionally saying there's like a wall that I've sort of erected that says I'm not taking life partners right now, but I am playing with connections as they come to me to sort of see what I like in relationships and what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Do I feel like I've gone from one extreme to another? In some ways, maybe, yeah, but I'm also really intentionally trying to settle, right? And I don't think that there is actually anything wrong with swinging to extremes. I think that's part of how you settle into who you are, right? So I was sort of way over here. I think there's an energy that I have to sort of correct over here so that I can find the middle. And I'm just kind of letting myself do that. So, do you love Janelle like we do? I don't know how you love Janelle, but I have always, like, I feel positive feelings for all three of the OG, as you guys call them, Christine, Mary, Janelle. I feel like in my personal relationships with them, such as they are, and recognizing that like there are a lot of people in my family, and so I don't have like super tight relationships with very many people in my family, but I have positive feelings for them. I feel love, and I hope that they are, I hope that they're well. I wish them well. I feel the same way about Cody and Robin too, honestly, right? Like I know that they get a lot of hate. But I feel like I've done enough work to understand, I feel the overwhelming weight of what happened to my family and the that it's like it didn't start with us, right? Like we're dealing with generations of patterns and programming. And so I don't, even though I've really tried to acknowledge and be honest about the abuse and the exploitation and the parts of my family's dynamics that are unhealthy, there's not a personal vendetta there, right? Like I'm not angry at them personally. I have compassion for them because I understand, like I get it. Like I know what that myth does to your brain. I know what it did to my brain. And it's hard when humans are wired. We're biologically wired to believe the myths that we're born into. And if we don't, right, it's actually most humans who have ever existed have not had to like deconstruct their mythic operating system, if you will, right? So that's a really, some of you, if any of you are ex-Mormon, you get it, right? It's really, really hard to recognize that the mythic story that you're operating in is wrong, right? Is a lie. And so I don't have any judgment for anyone who hasn't been able to do that yet, or I try not to have any judgment for what people do when they are operating from that place, while also clearly holding them accountable for their impact, right? So it's sort of like it's like a both, right? Like, yes, we can have compassion for the person and recognize that the reason that they're doing it is because they're operating from a framework that is brainwashed and is controlling them. And we can really clearly say to them, yeah, that behavior is inappropriate and you don't get to treat me like that, right? So you get to do both of those things. And I'm by no means perfect, right? Like, I am still very much healing, but I feel really lucky that I've been able to arrive at that kind of view, because it just makes me softer, right? Like, there's already so much suffering and pain, and to me, the only logical response to that suffering and pain is compassion, So anyway, let's go back to this episode. If it's good weather, if it's bad weather, it's bad weather. You know what? I like that.
Bad weather, it's bad weather, and I'm gonna dance in the rain. We have a bigger problem than the weather today. The address on the announcement is wrong. So let me tell you, I thought that the whole
Wow, that's a pretty big mistake. The address is wrong.
But I came up with a creative backup plan. This is my jar. I got the jar because it's gonna rain, possibly. So I didn't want my addresses to get wet. Here, a little note: attention, Brown celebration, not here. And then we have the picture of Cody, and I just hope people maybe will kind of catch their eye.
That's fun. It's like a scavenger hunt.
There's the right address.
Yeah, I did. I attended the reception.
Hi, man.
Isn't it sharp this morning?
You need to wash your hair. And you need to get
Oh, man.
First, because they're waiting for you to do this.
As Cody walks in here, right, I can feel how stressed he is. I can feel how stressed Robin is. And that is one of the biggest problems I have with big families. Is big families are just super stressful, because you have look, kids are hard. You guys, you know this, right? Kids are I love them. They're great. We love kids, and their whole programming is break shit and see what happens. And so when you have just dozens of kids and like they all have to get ready to look nice for this wedding, like, oh man, oh God, that sounds so stressful. I'm so glad I will never be at the center of a polygamist wedding. Oh, thank God.
12 today. I'm just excited. I'm just happy. I'm 12. There's not a care in the world.
So we're 3
hours. That's interesting to me. That makes me wonder, why 12? Like, that makes me wonder. I would be really interested to talk with Cody about his childhood. What was it? What happened when he was 12? That's what he associates with like perfect happiness. I don't know. I think I've had a lot more therapy than Cody. 12 tribes. Burn. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I agree on the elopement. That's what I did when I first got married. Does Cody talk to me? Yeah, I mean, I not often, but I've had, like, when I lived in St. George, he would come up from Vegas sometimes because he had friends in St. George, and we'd hang out and chat. I saw him just last summer, and I was friendly and we chatted. So like personally, my experience with Cody has always been positive, but I'm also pretty good at like holding my boundaries and making sure that I don't put up with behavior that I don't like. And I'm also a man. So like, I recognize that like I try to think about my relationships as individual. So I have individual relationships with all people, and I do everything I can to maintain those relationships positively, because I just believe that I would rather have friends than enemies, right? While also not sacrificing who I am. So I don't know how he feels. I doubt that he even watches my TikTok. So I doubt that I doubt that he's even aware of this. He has bigger things to deal with than one of his like 300 nephews. That's not that many. I don't know how many it is though. I stopped counting at 85, and that was like 15 years ago. I talk to, I mean, I don't like talk to them regularly, but I went to Christine's wedding. I think Christine lives up here close to me, and she came over to my house before the wedding. We hung out. I've chatted with Mary at the wedding. Oh, here we go. Sorry. My TikTok barrier was like, get out of TikTok. You've been here all. Hey, from Harriman, Utah. Hey, we're neighbors. Yeah, I've just found that understanding is more powerful than judgment. Because judgment kind of, here's the one thing that I know, you guys. The one thing that I know is that I have been horrifically wrong about the world. Like, I have been so totally wrong about what is true and about what the world is. And so I know that that's possible, right? That's actually, I think if you grew up in any kind of extreme religion and you've deconstructed it, I really believe that there's a lot about that sucks for sure. But I really believe that that is a gift. I think that that's a gift that you get to have, because then you get to go through the rest of your life with the most profound humility, because you know how wrong you can be. And I think that is the first step towards wisdom. So because I know how wrong I can be, all of my opinions are held very loosely. And that doesn't mean that I don't speak up and believe, like try to like advocate for what I think is true and right. There's just like this, it's like, I'm going to say what I believe is true, and I'm going to recognize that I could be 100% wrong. And so I'm always looking to understand more, right? So I'm not watching this series and looking at any of these humans and thinking, oh, I'm so much better than them. Oh, I'm so much more evolved, blah, blah, blah. No, I get it. I know what that world is like. And I hope that all of this that I'm doing helps spark more understanding, because I think that, I think the world could do with a little more understanding right now, because, there's a lot of certainty, and certainty scares me. Certainty, nobody ever did anything super, super awful believing that it might not be true, or that it might not. Like, the worst things that humans have ever done were done from the place of, I know that this is true and right. And so that scares me more than, I don't know. I'm a human, you guys. I'm a human who grew up on a tiny little compound in Nowheresville, Wyoming, on this tiny little planet on the edge of a galaxy that's not even that big of a galaxy. So like, what the fuck do I know? I know that Robin hasn't cried yet, and I still haven't drank any of this. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I'm Cody's nephew. Okay, here we go.
Away from the wedding. I'm just got tons to do still. Just trying to get everything done. There's just so many things to do.
Do I need to do something?
Oh my God, that is classic. That is classic Mormon man right there. That is actually classic Mormon gender dynamics. Wife, woman, running around, doing everything. Oh, I've got so much, there's so much to do, there's so much to do. Husband walking around, is there something I should be doing? Yeah, take some initiative and figure it out. Don't. Ah, God. Is there something I should be doing?
That'd be awesome.
See you in a little bit.
So while Cody and Robin had to do stuff at the reception to get ready, the three of us and kids and stuff, we went to the salon to get pampered.
Ooh, I love that. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God, I love that so much. If you're going to do polygamy, this what is just happening right now is my favorite thing that I've seen so far. Send the wives that are probably having a hard day and aren't super thrilled about, like, they're feeling, a little bit, a little bit neglected and maybe a little bit abandoned. Fucking send them to the spa. Oh, I love that. Whoever came up with that idea, I want to give them a big hug. That was, that makes me actually like really, shit, I might start crying now. That makes me really happy for my three aunts there. I just love the idea of like them getting like pampered and like people doing their hair and making them all look pretty and rubbing their feet and all of that. I love that.
You look so gorgeous. I feel pretty. I feel like a princess. Will you keep my dress on? Stand here in my room.
That was the first time most of us had been to a salon to like get our hair done. It was way fun.
So, did you do any sports or anything? Well, I like to play basketball.
That's funny. Leon. Some foreshadowing. Oh man. Oh man. I love these people. This is tricky because I feel really strongly about the, like, this is exploitation, I believe. You children shouldn't be put on television, and that's not just Sister Wives. Like, I recognize that there's a lot of other reality shows that do this, and that feels really deeply unethical to me. And it's just interesting to me the way that things kind of work out, because I think that this exposure to the world was ultimately good. It broadened their perspectives. That's what got me out too, right? Is I got to, hey, Leslie, good to see you. It got me the exposure, because when you're told because cults, what they do, right, is they villainize the outside and they say that that's dangerous. And so they put you in. And so when you get exposed to that outside and it's not what you expected it to be, when people are kind and nice and loving, then it creates this cognitive dissonance, which is why I think that the real antidote for cults is connection, right? The way that you get people out of cults is by just being available to them and just showering them with love, right? Just showering them with connection and just showing them, hey, look, it's safe out here. People are good. We're not going to do bad things to you. Yeah, Leslie, I tend to agree. I also like to distinguish between religion and belief, right? So when I deconstructed, I sort of lumped those two things together and then I threw them both out. I was like, fuck religion, fuck belief. I only believe in science. And I've sort of come full circle to really to recognize the power of belief. I think of belief as a human tool, right? It's a tool that we invented. Our ability to believe things that are not true, like this. What I'm talking to you guys through a magic box, right? This is not real. This is fiction. What I'm doing right now is science fiction. We imagined it, we believed that it was possible, and then we made it, right? So I actually really think that like I want to take belief back from religion. I want to say, religion, you don't get to own human belief. Belief is mine. I know what belief feels like in my body. I know the power of belief, and you don't get to own that. Religion does not own human belief. And it's time for the rest of us to take that back, because they're trying to put themselves on this moral high ground of like, we're the ones that believe, we're the ones that, worship God or whatever. Bullshit. God is so much, whatever God is, she is so much bigger than these paltry little creations that religion has propped up to just get powerful, right? So I really like belief. That's ours. That's mine. I get to believe. I get to use belief as a tool to, to help me get better, to help me live my life. Okay, here we go. Back to it.
We can't do anything on a small scale in our family.
No. Everybody's got to get pretty. She
Aww.
doesn't have any hair curls. We got to do her fingernails.
Truly's getting her nails painted.
Look at those clouds.
I need to get mine redone.
Yeah, the weather's
That's all I've got.
Better. We get rained out on an outdoor wedding reception. Oh well, I'm not too worried about it. Robin told me to buy the balloons so that I could actually mark and identify the wrong address. I gotta figure out where this goes. Okay, this road dead ends here. This road doesn't go in a straight line. I'm gonna have to GPS this. Now I'm way off the trail.
He is really playing into kind of that classic doofus dad stereotype. Like, he can't even...
Thinking about how much we've been through. We've really been through tons. We've really been through a lot of trying to get everybody on board with the situation, and also being okay with our relationship and the emotions. I mean, there's so many emotions that have been flying everywhere.
Sing your mama's song.
Things work out the way they're supposed to. I've always wanted more kids. Cody and I have talked about it.
This is kind of sad to me, because I recognize that y'all have seen more than I have, and that you have strong feelings about Cody and Robin. So I get that, and we'll see how I adjust as I continue. But it's just sad to me, because I think there's no way to win. There's no way to win in this scenario. And like, it's hurting Robin, or it's hurting the three original wives. It's hurting Robin. It's hurting Cody. Like, everybody's getting hurt. And it's all so unnecessary, right? It's just, the only reason it's happening is because they believe in this myth that tells them that that's what they're supposed to do. Hang on, something happened. I gotta restart this. Because I know what it's like to be in relationship with someone that you don't really love, and then to find love, right? So if you've ever been in a relationship with someone where maybe there was like a connection, but there wasn't like just like a real lover connection, and then you have that, right? It's a very different feeling. And so I think that the way that when I look at Robin and Cody, it looks like they're really into each other. And And it's sad that is causing so much harm, and it's hurting everybody, right? It's just a shitty way to do family. Okay, let's see if I can get back to this. Video help. Something went wrong. Why can't I watch this? Crazy Raven. Weird. Hang on just a second. I need to try something different. I might need to watch it on my laptop. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. For some reason, it's not working on the, it's not working on the TV, so let's do this on the laptop. Do you guys want to say hi to Pig? Pig, say hi. Say hi to the people. Yes. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The bestest girl in the whole world. Okay. Thanks. She's the best. She really is. She's such a good dog. She just barely turned 2. Okay, Amazon. Let's search for sister wives. 3 stars. Okay, here we go. How far was I into that? Is Mormonism anti-dog? No. That must just be Cody and Robin.
Tomorrow's the wedding, so just guys not.
Okay, where were we? Nope, not right there. Robin, Cody's driving around still. Okay, here we are. Oh my God, we're only 6 minutes. I need to talk less and watch more. Where do I want this? I think I want it right. Oh. I don't trust anyone who doesn't like dogs. Like you don't have to have a dog, but if you hate dogs, how could you hate a creature that their entire existence is like to love you? Like look at this animal. Hey, Pig. Hello. Look, all I do is I say her name and she's like, I'm right here. I love you. You're my favorite. Oh, I love you too, Pig. You're so good. How do you hate that? Yes. Yeah. Do you want to come over here? You can come snuggle on me. Yes. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're back.
Really been through tons. We've really been through a lot of trying to get everybody on board with the situation and also being okay with
our relationship and the emotions. I mean, there's so many emotions that have been flying everywhere.
Sing your mama's song.
You know, things.
That's got to be obnoxious, right? Like, imagine that you're trying to date someone and you have to deal with like 17 people's other emotions. Like, that is annoying. I would never do that to myself.
Things work out the way they're supposed to. I've always wanted more kids. Cody and I have talked about it.
The sparklies in the hair. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the sun is out! The sun is out! The sun is out! Yay! Oh, yay! Please stay this way. Open the door. Don't mind, please. Okay.
Oh, prom date is July 16th and the 17th. With all these deals, I could be more than Megan Thee Stallion.
Lame ads. Nope. I'm annoyed that Amazon decided that you have to watch ads now. That's obnoxious. This is an HBO Max original series. Already talking. Well, I mean, kids are the reason why you like, that's, kids and polygamy are the same, right? Like, the reason why you have multiple wives is so you can have a bunch of kids. So remember, there are spirit babies. There are tons of spirit babies in heaven. And if righteous people don't have tons of kids, then those spirit babies end up going to wicked families like yours. So the polygamists have to save all of those poor spirit babies from going to, you know, wicked families in Columbus.
I gotta find the address, the wrong address that we put on oh, there's Mary. Hey, Mary.
Okay, so are you out trying to find that wrong address?
Yeah, I'm here close to something, and it's filled.
He is so lost, it's incredible.
I know where I'm at. I can find my way back. I'm not totally lost. This spot is totally lost. This is it.
Classic,
right here.
man.
We finally
I'm not
find
lost.
the closest thing to the wrong address.
Blaming the spot. Oh God. The spot never moved. It was there. It was where it was the whole time.
Okay. And put the bottle and the balloons there and go, what the hey, you know, I hope they show up.
Oh my gosh, that is such
Jar
a
took forever.
wild
So I have to rinse
fuck
them
up.
and get ready.
Oh my God. It wasn't even an address. It was a place. It's just like a house. Imagine that you're that family and you see this minivan pull up and, and this dude gets out and there are cameras and he puts a jar there with balloons. You're like, what is happening? Oh my God.
I need some help. Can you put this one? But he needs to.
No, he doesn't need that one.
Please don't do that. It kind of chokes me.
Or is your face clean?
I know.
Oh man.
Such a big
All this
thing.
getting ready stuff is super stressful for me. How old was I? I think 2010, I think is when they got married. So I was, 2010, I was 21. I was this close to being a dad.
Okay, the day was like ceremony, preparations, running, hair, getting stuff together. I mean, it was like crazy, just one thing after another.
Weddings suck, y'all. Elope. That
Oh
is,
my heck, I'm sitting in the bathroom
that
with
is
the
the
kids,
thing to do.
and I'm just like going,
Yeah, why is
why
Robin
am
alone?
I alone? What was wrong with me? Why
Like,
isn't someone over here with me?
Doesn't she have a
Why am I
mom
planning
or
ahead on this
sisters
one?
or
We only got
like
the hair
friends?
done and, you know, the pedicures and stuff because she said so.
I mean, really, truly, if she would have said, can you please come over and get the kids? Well, sure, no problem, but we didn't know.
Get ready, Michael. Right now. Go. Out.
She's pissed.
So glad God invented peripheral vision. Please, constantly.
Oh man, she is angry. Ugh. Oh my god, that is so weird.
So do you.
Hi.
You gonna kiss me?
No, I was gonna say something funny that I think I'll just say it anyway.
Say it, Mary. What? Damn it, Mary.
I wish it was my wedding night.
Hey.
Oh, that's not funny. That's just sad.
Please bring his chairs on top of me.
Oh.
It was like this big circus.
Open the door.
They're locking each other out of the car. They're locking me out of the car. Just like.
I didn't realize that Robin was so stressed out.
I had no idea that. Hang on, I gotta. There we go. I had no idea that Robin was so stressed out while I was driving around in her car trying to find the wrong spot to put these balloons up, not knowing. Handmade by Nina. Do most pigs live like the Browns close or away like Robins? I would say it's probably like half and half. Like about half of them, there's sort of like they become one big family, which is kind of how my family did it, where they lived really close to each other. And then probably the other half is like they are, it's sort of like individual, like franchise families. So it depends on the family dynamic.
Maybe I was just in oblivion.
I had suggested to Robin, I would love to have a family photo.
No, put that hand back on the other shoulder.
Yeah, it's meltdown.
Oof, guys, any of you who are from big families know how
Prom date is July
stressful
16th and the 17th.
family photos are, especially like reunions. Oh my God, those are the worst. Have you ever tried to take a family photo with over 100 people? Ugh. Anytime I'm doing that and I'm with my kids, I just gather my kids to myself and I'm like, look, you guys, this is going to be crazy. We're just going to plant ourselves here and just make silly faces. Just make silly faces as long as it takes. We're just going to so we try to have a good time with it. Okay, here we go. We're back. No more commercials. Oh. I did not go to the wedding because I was not worthy.
Ceremony. It was very private.
The campers were not welcome at the ceremony because
did go to
it's
the reception.
very sacred to us.
When it comes to our religious ceremonies, there are other people we have to respect. There's
I can talk about this part of it. The religious ceremony was very, very beautiful. There's a lot of love involved.
The religious ceremony, I guarantee you, was very, very weird because the Mormon sealing, you wear weird ass clothes. You wear a green apron. If you're a man, you wear like this weird baker hat. You're a woman, you veil your face. And when there's you're like on the altar, like across from each other, you're doing a special secret handshake. And then the other wives are like connected too, right? So there's like I don't know exactly how it works because I never did it in there, but I believe that the husband and the new wife are kneeling across from each other, and then I think the wives are around it, kind of so they're doing like this special handshake called the patriarchal grip. If I ever meet you in person, I'll give it to you. That will make sure that you go to the tippy top of Mormon heaven. You're welcome. And then the wives, I think, put their hands on it. It's very strange. It's very creepy. Yeah, it's super creepy.
There's a lot of acceptance involved. Tears, hugs. It was gorgeous.
The reception is actually the really big deal because this is where our guests come. This is where everybody comes to congratulate us for our wedding.
How many guys take?
Yeah.
Want to bet? I get shotguns. I'll shoot first.
You're asking if he's in the ignition pod?
Cody and Robin, welcome. Cool. Listen, Brian's in charge. Give him an hour.
Why didn't I go to the wedding? So I did go to the reception. I didn't go to the wedding because it was an AUB wedding, and at that time I was LDS. So I was not a member of I wasn't worthy to go to the wedding. And even if I had been, I doubt I would have been invited because they're usually pretty small. And I don't think a nephew would have warranted an invitation. Yeah, it's it's basically they're the same handshakes. Yep. There are 4 of them. One for each level of heaven, and then one for the tippy top. That's how I think. Yep, tokens too. Yep. Although the AUB, they still do like the hardcore tokens. So I don't know if you know this or not, but the tokens in the LDS church are actually remnants of the blood oaths from the earlier versions. So like one of them, like this, one of the tokens is that sign. And that's because what they used to do is they'd say, rather than reveal this, I will cut my throat. And so that's the end of it. So that's an echo of a blood oath. The AUB, the polygamists, they still do that. The other one is, there's a hand in cupping shape. You might remember that one. That's for tearing your heart out. And then the other one is your hand down like that. And that's from disemboweling yourself. So yeah, like a gang. It's like a spiritual gang. I'm Cody's nephew. So all of those echoes, right? The LDS church doesn't do the blood oaths anymore. They just have the tokens at the end. So they're just like echoes of an earlier thing. But I mean, it's still gross and weird, and borderline witchcraft, I would say. Oh yeah, the LDS church is super racist. The whole Book of Mormon is a white supremacist text. It's about how the whole Book of Mormon is about why it's okay that white Europeans are slaughtering the natives. That's what it's, and how the dark skin of the natives is actually a curse from God. That's what the Book of Mormon is about.
Okay, he's going to be talking, telling you what to do.
The first thing that we did when we got to the reception, we planned out that we were going to get family pictures.
Summer, I did have a new mom come in during my childhood. I think I was 5 or 6, but she was only around for about a year, and then she left. So I had my dad married 2 women at the same time, and so I grew up with 2 moms all the time. And then when I was about 5 or 6, a new mom was in the picture for about a year, and then she left. Yeah, good point. Arshkoff, like witchcraft is actually, the Mormon temple bullshit is something different than witchcraft. Witchcraft can be pretty cool. Yes, and brown-skinned people get to turn white when they're saved. Because racism.
Okay, all my kids get closer together on this side. There we go.
By the way, the AUB, right, the group that the Sister Wives family and my family's a part of, they are still deeply racist, right? Like the only The only sin that I could commit where I would not be welcomed back into the AUB fold in full standing is if I had sex with a person of color. That's the only thing that I could do, because if I do that, my priesthood is tainted, and I can never be forgiven for that. And some would say that the only way that I could even be forgiven in the next life is to be killed, because that's what Brigham Young said, right? Brigham Young said that if you mix your seed with the seed of Cain, the only redemption is to be killed on the spot. So the only way for me to never be welcomed back is to do that. And I did it. Cell 5. I can never go back.
I had suggested to Rob.
Yeah, you don't want the priest taint. That is crazy. It's crazy, and there's actually a better term for it, which is white supremacist, right? It's white supremacy. That's what it is. And that learning what that term meant, like I didn't grow up with the term white supremacy, but learning what that term meant was really helpful, because it gave me the language to describe how I was raised, and a way to view really all of Mormonism, because Mormonism took the white supremacy of the 1830s, which was 1830s America was super white supremacist, right? It wasn't even outside the norm. That's just the way that it was. And it took that white supremacy and it gave it the authority of God, and then it took it out into the Utah desert to incubate for 150 years. So there's a difference, right? So it's important to recognize that there's brown and then there's black. And to be clear, I just wanted you to know this is not how I see the world. I'm just describing the worldview. So there are two curses connected to skin color in Mormonism. There's the curse of Cain, and then there's the curse of Laman. So the curse of Cain is black people, and the curse of Cain comes from, in the pre-existence, there was the war in heaven. There were all these spirit babies. A third of the spirit babies went for Satan. A third of the spirit babies went for Jesus. And then a third of the spirit babies were fence sitters. They just kind of sat on the fence in the war, like trying to see who would win. So all the Satan spirit babies, they got cast down to earth without bodies. They're demons now. All of the spirit babies who went and fought for Jesus, they are white people. And then all of the spirit babies who were fence sitters, they are black people, right? And so they are cursed. They cannot have the priesthood or the exalting ordinances of Mormonism. The LDS Church has since changed that, right? In 1978, 15 years after the civil rights movement. So very prophetic of them. They were certainly leading the charge on that. But in polygamous groups like the AUB, it is still that way, right? Like that's how you believe, that's how they believe. My family currently believes that. When I got back from Africa, the first question my dad asked me was if I'd had sex with a black woman. He was like, he had to know that to know if I was pure or not. Which is hilarious that he thinks that I had the game. That is it's an 18-year-old skinny white dude from Wyoming that I had the game. That's funny. So that's the curse of Cain. And then there's the curse of Laman. And the curse of Laman is in the Book of Mormon. White Jews from Israel came across to America. This is the story, right? And then they split into two tribes, the tribe of Nephi and the tribe of Laman. The tribe of Nephi were righteous and followed God. The tribe of Laman were wicked, and they were cursed with brown skin. But the difference is that that curse can be lifted, right? So that's where they believe Hispanics, Native Americans, all of that, that's the curse of Laman. And so it's okay. In fact, it's really even encouraged, especially in the early church, it was encouraged for Mormon men to marry Native American wives to sort of breed the curse out of them, which is racist and white supremacist and super disgusting. So, yeah. So that's why I call Mormonism a white supremacist organization. Like that's what it is. Yeah, sometimes I think that if Joseph Smith would have been, born a century later, he would have been like a really great young adult novelist. He would have like written a really great Twilight or something. So anyway, that was fun to weed out of my brain. Do I know all of my relatives? God, no. I have hundreds of relatives. I don't know them all.
Robin, I would love to have a family photo. I would love for you to match us all and not be in your wedding dress.
And so I had a second dress made that went with their dresses.
Daughter, this is great. You guys come in here a little bit.
I'm sorry, Mackenzie. Me neither.
3, 2, 1, good. Come in right on.
I want to give a hats off to Mary because she usually will help the photographer fix the shot.
Get behind Bryant, Mary, if you want our attention.
I was hoping he wasn't getting annoyed by me because I'm a little bit too much of a perfectionist. Everything's just right.
What was that?
Shut up. They call me the picture Nazi.
See, that right there, that is roasting, right? That little thing that Christine did to Mary just there, where it's like that you can feel the love that's underneath that, and really a good roast is really about seeing the other person, right? So she's like, really? You're like that. That's good natured. That's fun. I like that. That's not the energy that goes into some of the roasts of Cody.
Like it once they get the good picture. So.
Mary is the picture goddess.
Oh, I like goddess so much better than Nazi. Thank you.
Yes. Boom, 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 boom. Hold hands.
I do too. Goddess is way better than Nazi.
That night, for whatever reason, she decided to turn on her prima donna. And oh my goodness, when she turns that on, I'm in trouble.
It's meltdown time.
Oh, that hurts. That really hurts.
For whatever
That's not a
reason, this
prima
girl, she
donna.
goes
That's a
into her-
child in need of care.
Honey, her life was changing.
If that's really what it is,
God,
then
I
there's
love
like humongous
Christine.
changes almost every other day, so I can't really.
That's not, that's when you have lots of kids, you cannot give them the emotional care that they need. And so to justify your own feelings of inadequacy for not being able to give them the care that you need, you make their emotions bad. It is perfect. Aurora's like what? 7, 8? She's a child. She's a fucking child. Of course, she's overstimulated. People are yelling. Everything's changing. Of course, what she's doing there is she's saying, I need some care from my family. I need to know that I'm going to be okay. And to call that prima donna is to invalidate that feeling and to train her that her feelings don't matter and that she shouldn't listen to her feelings and that her feelings are bad. I love Christine for recognizing that right there. That was baller to her. Might have been Brianna. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to keep them straight. Like, I would feel overwhelmed. I would probably want to cry. I just think that you shouldn't, it's so much easier to just acknowledge and care for people in their emotional overwhelm than to just criticize it, right? Like it takes no effort or energy to just be there, to just be like, oh, let me care. I'm right here with you. Hey, I'm right here with you. I've got you, right? And rather than to just like, oh, but that's patterning, right? So probably what happened is that when Robin was a kid, she also got made to feel bad for having big emotions. And so she has this belief inside of her that says, big emotions are bad. Kids shouldn't have big emotions. And the way to respond, you have to discipline kids out of big emotions. And so it's just this recurring pattern that all has its roots in having too many children and not giving those children the care that they deserve. Also, I'm going to call that a cry. Cheers. Oh, this is a Craig Ferguson bourbon. And I've not been drinking it because Robin has not cried. So I'm gonna call that a Brianna cry. Okay, here we go.
Concerned that people weren't going to come to the reception. That's part of the reason why I was worried about the invitation address being wrong.
We went to the address on the invitation.
It's a golden ticket.
So as far as our extended family being filmed, aunts and uncles, mom and dad, things like that, it just wasn't something they were comfortable with. But everybody showed up, and it was nice, and I was just really glad to see everybody there. That I really, really wanted to be there.
They had kind of two tents. So when we came into the wedding or the reception, I remember this. You come in, and you had to sign a waiver, agreeing to be filmed, and there were sort of two different places you could go. There was a place where there wasn't filming happening, so you could go to the non-filming. You could go to the non-filming place, or you could go to the filming place. Funny story about taking my whiskey neat, because that is how I do it. Whiskey was actually the first drink I ever tried. I think I was 27 years old. This was after I left the LDS church, and I was at a Oh, I have to be careful. It just told me that this is now regulated because I'm talking about whiskey. So let's talk about, it was apple juice. So I went to a conference. I was at a business conference, and I was like, they had like drink tickets. And so I was like, I'm going to give this a try. Like, I'm going to try I'm going to try alcohol. I'm going to try the alcohol. But I had no idea how to order it, and I felt kind of foolish because I didn't want to, I didn't want to do it wrong. I didn't want it to be obvious that was what I was doing. And so I was like, I'm just going to order whatever. I'm just going to say exactly whatever the person in front of me said. And the person in front of me ordered an apple juice neat. And so I was like, oh, I'll have an apple juice neat. And that's what I got. And I tasted it, and I was like, oh, this is different and good. I like it. So that's the story. And then I didn't look foolish.
We got you a little welcome to the club gift. So Cody's
she cried.
sitting there feeding to her.
There it is.
And he starts shoving the cake in.
A few months ago, I was just a...
God. I actually, to be clear, I don't dislike Robin. All of the interactions that I've had with Robin have been positive. I don't have any negative feelings towards her. I do think that she cries a lot, and from as soon as I mentioned that, it sounds like that's true.
He's like,
so I mostly just thought it would be funny to Bree, it takes a while. Yeah. So Bree, do you want me to, I think I can help you. This is the key to liking alcohol. Okay. Are you ready? It's supposed to be gross. It's supposed to be gross. Wine, beer, whiskey, all of that, it's supposed to be gross. And what that does, if you accept that, what that does, it actually opens up your palate to different flavors, right? So especially as a Mormon, right, we are addicted to one flavor, and that's sweet, right? We love sweet. We love our sweet. And wine is not sweet. I remember the first time I tried wine, I was hugely disappointed because I was expecting grape juice that made me feel good. And that is not what wine tastes like. Wine is bitter. It's kind of like, it's got this like really weird, gross thing to it. But if you recognize that that's kind of the point, then you can start to appreciate all of the different flavor notes. And so the same thing with beer, right? So if you've struggled to like beer, if you want to, right? You don't have to like it. But what I would do is I would order a really dark beer and just experience the flavor. Don't try to make it something that it's not. Just allow yourself to experience what it is, and what it'll do is it'll open your palate to a whole range of flavors that you didn't know you could appreciate. And it's the same thing. That's why I really like whiskey, is that whiskey, you can, it depends on how you, I don't know the word for it, but how you like the barrels that you put it in or what you mix with it. You can get a lot of different flavor notes with it. And so you can just kind of sip it, and you can just appreciate the wide variety of the flavors that are available. So that's what kind of helped me. And I actually kind of like that as a metaphor, because I think that Mormonism is very narrow, right? Mormonism narrows the what is appropriate for human experience, and it says there's only one right way to be, and it has to be this way, right? It's sort of it's like only sweet is good. No, that's not true. We are, as humans, we can appreciate all of life. We can appreciate all different kinds of flavors. Not only can we appreciate it, we can carefully craft over thousands of years flavors that are designed to do different things. And so alcohol, it can be a really cool way to sort of open yourself up to the just infinite variety of what it is to be human and what it is to experience this world. So that's how I learned to appreciate alcohol. It's supposed to be gross. That's the point.
After we took family pictures, I ran up to the bride's room and changed from my family pictures dress to the wedding dress. And I really wanted to wear a wedding dress to say that I was married.
That actually does look really nice.
Then we changed from family picture situation
that is a pretty great dress.
Let's have a reception, baby.
Okay, I might not get another chance. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate your support tonight. It's been very special to us.
Hang on, I've got to scan this crowd to see if I'm there. I think I was bald. I don't see me.
Janelle and Christine and I got together and got you a little welcome to the club gift.
To the club. Another cry. Cheers.
It's good. It's Mary's idea first. Oh, it is.
It's a brown family tradition to wear a colada ring. They all wear them.
It was kind of like I got into the sorority.
The cake fit in so well because everything was gorgeous.
No. We're taking them.
Oh, okay. Weddings are complicated.
They are.
You'd think I'd be good at it by now, right? I give her
You think I'd be good at it?
with my fingers.
Yes.
So Cody's sitting there feeding to her, and he starts shoving the cake in her mouth. So and she's like this, she's like,
I was being nice. I'm sorry.
God, I love Christine.
Wait. Christine, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Janelle, I'm sorry. Well, just a second. Mary, I'm sorry. Do I get a pass for being Meshuggah Putz just 30 seconds?
It's not 30 seconds, dude. That's not the problem.
Try to get it. No, you can't get the
That is a really pretty dress. Okay, here we go. Dancing. dancing in the tent. We got live
My
music. That's
experience coming
fun.
into the family was nothing really like Robin's experience. Quite honestly, when I had made my decision to marry Cody,
Oh, that's
I love
that picture of Janelle and Cody. That is my grandma's house in Wyoming. That's where that reception must have been. Do all Mormon men dance like Cody? I don't think so. I think Cody might have he might be the only one.
lost the relationship with most of my family and friends because they were so appalled.
Mine was a lot different from Robin's reception as well. It was really, really a simple event. My wedding reception was actually a large event.
She served cream puffs.
We
'cause
had
I was there.
Yeah, we had cream puffs. Janelle was there. She came. But yeah, it was. I wore a white dress. He was in a white tux, and I don't know. It was fun. It was good for us.
Oh, I know that dude. That's
It was
Jeff.
literally kind of a coming out party for us. This one event was really where most people were going to meet us as we were, polygamous, in a setting where we were abiding as an entire family, and they were coming to see us.
I don't know that that's entirely... Oh, hey, check it out. There I am.
Setting where we were
let's
abiding
see.
as an entire family, and they were coming to see us.
There I am. This is at 1806, y'all. Here we go. Right back here in the corner. That's me. Very bald. That's my ex-wife. We're like 8 months into marriage. I'm pretty sure that she's pregnant with our first right there. And yeah, I remember that wedding. I look like a baby, man. Also, I kind of look like I've got a little bit of a, I don't know what that face is. I look kind of like I'm disgusted. I don't remember feeling that way. I remember feeling like, oh, this is my family. They got married. That's what we do. We have more than one wife sometimes. Brown parties are pretty fun. Like secondhand embarrassment. That might be that. We do like to dance. That was fun at Christine's wedding too.
It's a blessing. It's an absolute
Yeah, maybe
blessing.
I could see.
And that's what the reception was.
It's my sister Jenny. Oh, there's my dad.
And it was a perfect ending of a chapter.
Oh man, that line didn't
And so
didn't age
I wanted
well.
to say goodnight to all my
The ending
wives
of a
before
chapter.
Robin and I are going.
Did you imagine back then that the show would become as big as a hit? No, I had no idea. It seemed like just a thing that they were doing. I am currently not speaking to my dad, and that's actually intentional on my part. I kind of welcomed him back. About a year and a half ago, we tried reconnecting, and I sort of let him back on a more intimate level with me. And after about 8 months of that, I didn't love how he was showing up for me. And so I intentionally kind of moved him out again. I was like, I deserve, I gave him no contact. I gave him a no contact for a year, and I told him to go to therapy. And I gave him a book called The Power of Showing Up, which is about how to create secure attachment in children. And I said, read this book, go to therapy, and let's talk in a year. And that was about 10 months ago. So I don't know if he's going to reach back out again or not. And I don't know if I don't know if I'll I'm still unsure about how I will respond if he does. Because I've learned, sort of what I've learned about myself is that I really crave, like, I think everyone wants a good relationship with their dad. I think that's a natural human thing to want. And so I definitely want that, but I also have a requirement of, like, I need someone to show up for me, and I'm not interested in having a relationship with someone who doesn't show up for me. And so I don't know. There will have to be a lot of really. He'll have to really change the way that he shows up, and I don't know if he is. I don't know that he's able to do that. You know, so it's kind of a bummer. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're trying to heal. Yeah. Yeah, and what was interesting too for me, the thing that finally kicked it is that it wasn't even a big thing. It was kind of a little thing. It was that I was doing a show. I was actually doing my very first weekend at Wise Guys, so I was really excited about it because I'd headlined before, but I had never done a weekend. And so I was doing 2 back-to-back shows, a Friday and a Saturday, and I just asked him to call or to text me beforehand to just like wish me good luck going into it. And he didn't on Friday, and then he didn't on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I got a text from him saying, "Hey, sorry, I missed your shows. Some people came into town and I forgot. How did things go?" And I was just like, yeah, that's not good enough for me. Like, that's not, I deserve more from a dad than that. And so I had a candid conversation with him where I told him how I felt, and I told him what my boundaries of behavior were. And I gave him some advice, and then I said, go try and work on yourself, go figure out why you can't show up for me the way that I need you to. And if you can figure that out, then we can have a conversation. So I hope he does. It would be cool. But what was interesting too is that even just doing that, even though it didn't heal my relationship with my dad, it did heal my relationship with the energy of dad, so that I sort of felt like even though my dad couldn't show up for me, I now had a sense of what it would feel like and what I would want. And that felt really healing. So Bree, yeah, I actually do. I've got another weekend coming up, the end of this month. So the 26th, July 26th and 27th. If any of you guys are local here in Utah, please come out to that show, July 26th and 27th at Wise Guys. It's at the downtown location. It's going to be, I've been headlining now for about 1.5 years. And so I've been kind of compiling material, and this one I'm going to film it. I'm going to try to make it like a really kick-ass show where I just pile in all of the jokes that I have. And then I'm going to film it, and then I'm going to release it on YouTube as a special. So I'm excited. I think it'll be pretty good. Okay, let's wrap this up. We've got a couple minutes left.
Like a compelling discussion about. So Janelle came up and let me know she was going, so I just walked out with her, and after that, Christine let me know that it was time that she was ready to go. And then Mary, and I love you, Mary. I love you deeply, and I love you truly, and I will miss you.
Miss you too. Cody and Mary were walking away from the reception to go say goodbye to each other. And I saw them, they're kind of having this, little stroll. This is their time, this is their goodbye. I'm not going to interrupt or intrude. So I beeline, and Mary's like, wait.
Running to get out of the way.
He gives me a hug.
I don't know that is what
and tells me
happened.
that she loves me. So
there's another one.
I was welcoming her into our family, and she was welcoming us too, and made it just such a big thing, and I appreciate that. That was really cool. Thanks.
It was very beautiful to all of us. No matter what anybody else thought while they were there, it was beautiful to us.
As I think about our future together, I look forward to it very much. But what I look forward to the most is a big, big house with all of us having our separate quarters like we have now, where we can all be together. I don't think that's what happens. That's really what I'm looking forward to most.
What I'm seeing for us is the five of us sitting at the football games together, at the graduations together. I just see us now going forward and doing these things that center around our family, but all five of us together. That's what I see.
Oof. I would call these girls my best friends right now. I really would.
Man.
And I really look forward
This is really
to the time
sad.
when we're just, so close that we just, don't want to live without each other. We want to call each other and tell each other about everything that is going on in our lives. I'm curious to know what's next.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm curious what's next. Well, what's going to be next, Mary, is a lot of pain and a lot of breaking free and hopefully liberation. So, wow. Wow. Man, that is... That's difficult. That's a tough... It's so... The thing that's has struck me the most about watching all of this is just constantly being reminded about how unnecessary it is. Like, the only reason that these people lived polygamy, it's not because they sat down and thought about all of their options in life and then picked polygamy. It's because they were raised in a worldview that warped their thinking to think that that was the best option. And why did that happen? Because 200 years ago, a dude named Joseph Smith started a cult. And then he died. And then a bunch of people fought over his cult. And they've been fighting over it for, 200 years. And they've been using that cult to extort and abuse and manipulate humans. And that is bullshit. And I'm done with it, which is why I have declared myself the only true prophet of Mormonism. And the reason I'm the only true prophet is that I am the only prophet who will tell you the truth about Mormonism, which is that it is made up. It is a made up thing, and it's fine for things to be made up. I fucking love made up things. Lord of the Rings is great. But when you say that something is made up and then you insist that it's true, and then you abuse and manipulate people because they fail to live up to your made up thing, that is abuse. And I'm sick of that shit. And that's why I'm the prophet. I'm also the prophet because I found a golden plate at Burning Man. And I didn't intend to find a golden plate, but I did. And by the laws of Mormonism, me finding a golden plate means that I am the prophet. So I don't have it anymore because it was stolen either by an angel or a member of the Westboro Baptist Church. But I promise you that I did have it. And it was written in deformed English. And I have translated it into, before it was stolen, I did translate it into the Book of the Fresh King Benjamin, which is currently being revised and will be released in the next month or so. So, worship me. No, don't. Please don't. But do join me. Do join me in my pretend version of Mormonism, where we incessantly mock that ridiculous religion until it finally apologizes to all of the people that it hurt, and it uses its massive amount of money to pay for the therapy of its victims and to make the world a better place and to give back to the people that it stole from, like me. So yeah, I mean, it's as real as the non-pretend version. And frankly, I think that I can pretend better than they can. So if you would like to join me on that quest, please do. It's going to be obnoxious and absurd and mostly stupid, but you know, the world is burning down around us. So what else are we going to do? Yeah, at least I'm honest. At least I'm like, 100%, right? Like the whole point of this mockery is to highlight the abuse that's happening. And I'm going to give you guys the secret handshakes. So everyone gets a secret handshake. Everyone gets to go to Mormon heaven. As long as you pay me your tithing. Tithing is $6.66 a month. You 100% get a planet, as many planets as you want. The temple garments are just lingerie or harnesses. So whichever one you want to wear, just anything that the temple garments are just anything that makes you feel sexy. And yes, Hannah, you can have as many husbands or wives as you want, or whatever's in between. Like whatever kind of relationship dynamic you have intentionally chosen as a self-actualized adult human, you can have. And yes, you can have all of the wicked spirit babies. They will all be born into our wicked families, where we will teach them naughty things like listening to their feelings and like touching their bodies is okay. And like, it's okay to say no to people who are like, give me a kiss, give me a kiss, give me a kiss. So, please join. Look out for the release of my book of scripture, the book of the Fresh King Benjamin. Yeah, like being self-aware and secure, all of that really evil stuff. We're going to teach all of that. We are also going to, we're also just going to loudly insist that the LDS Church return the billions of dollars that it stole and use it to build a functional public transit system in Utah so that we stop burning down the environment and drying up the Great Salt Lake. And so that we can have air that we can breathe. Also, as the true prophet, I would also just like to say that all of this prophesying about people getting more wives is bullshit. That's bullshit. That is not, if God were to really prophesy, do you guys want to hear what God would really want to prophesy right now? Like, God would not come down to earth and be like, you must marry multiple wives. That's not what he would say. What God would say is, why the fuck are you abusing Gaia and destroying the planet? Stop. Stop. Give the land back to the people you stole it from. Take all of that money that got sucked up by corporations and return it to the people. And also free dinner for everyone. Yeah, let's ban pesticides and racism. Done. If we are going to pretend, that God talks to people, we can do a much better job. Because just imagine for a moment that there is a God. There's a God, and this God is all good and all knowing and all of this. They are not going to come down and be like, you know what you really need? You know what really you need to do? Don't drink coffee. No, that's not what God is going to say. What God is going to say is, why are you terraforming the planet? Why is there a gigantic ocean, or why is there a gigantic island of plastic in the ocean? What the fuck did you do to my planet? Humans? Yes, you do have to go to the bishop every so often to keep your Be a Mormon card, But what will happen in that interview is that you'll just tell the bishop all of the awesome things that you're doing, and the bishop will high five you. So the bishop will be like, are you masturbating? And you'll be like, yes, I am. And then the bishop will be like, high five. That's exactly what you should do. Masturbation is healthy and a good thing to do. It helps you understand your body, what you like, what you don't like. And it's a perfectly natural thing to do. In fact, babies are doing it in the womb. So we're not going to vilify people for touching themselves. Here's what we are going to vilify. There are going to be some sins. Okay, so here are some of the sins. Number one sin, doing something to another person without their consent. That is a huge no-no. That's a big no-no. Do you want to know why? Because it's not that hard to get consent. And it turns out that if you ask for the things that you want, you can almost guarantee that there's probably someone freaky enough to do it. So, number one, that's the first big sin. Number two, the second big sin is manipulating and abusing children. We're just going to let kids be kids. In this fake pretend religion, kids just get to be kids. And do you know how adults respond to kids? We're big. We're big enough for kids can break shit. Kids can be obnoxious. Kids can be annoying. Kids can be disrespectful. Kids can do all of those things. And do you know what adults do? What adorable little children these are. We're so happy that they're here. Let's shepherd and protect them and make sure that they're okay so that they can do cool shit in the world. Because kids are supposed to break shit. It's in their programming because there's stuff that needs to be broken. Any other questions about the one and only true version of Mormonism, of which I am the prophet? Can I drink anywhere, or do I have to hide it and only drink on vacation? Great question. You can drink however much you want to, as long as it is good for you. So what I want you to do is just feel into your body and pay attention to your body and do what's good for your body. So if it's good for your body to have a glass of wine every night, awesome, great, do that. If it's good for your body to never drink alcohol, never drink alcohol. Yes, there are snacks. There are the best snacks, all of the snacks that you could possibly want. What is church like? Church is like once a week, we all get together. We do a little bit of Qigong. We bring food and we all share the food and we eat together. And then we help each other as much as we possibly can. Free medicine and education for everyone. Yeah, no drinking and driving, 100%. Be responsible. How many wives does Sky Daddy have? Sky Daddy has as many wives and husbands as want to be in a relationship with Sky Daddy. Jack Daniels and cheese for sacrament? Yes, there's actually a cyclical thing for sacrament. So we do something new every week. But Jack Daniels and cheese is definitely on the place. There's definitely a space for autistic and ADHD people. Your prophet is probably ADHD. So we love those people. We have space for them. I am also running for president. Yes. I have 3 platforms, 3 things that I'm running for president on. You can seriously just write my name in. Number 1, I will end daylight savings. Number 2, I will unban TikTok. And number 3, I will use the presidential pardoning power to pardon all consumer debt in the United States. So we will have a jubilee. We will go full biblical. All of these crazy Christians were like, we should go leave the Bible again. Okay, great. We're going to do a jubilee in the Bible. All debts canceled. We all are liberated. There is a Sky Mama too, for sure. In fact, Sky Mama is who I like to worship. I'm one of Sky Mama's little bitches. Student loans, gone. Yep. Even Robin Victoria's Secret debt, gone. There will be signs and tokens, but if you can't remember the handshakes, it's okay. You can just make them up on the spot. They don't really matter. There's also a sky they them. 100%. There's a sky jaguar. There is a sky, there's a sky animatronic robot. Just any kind, whatever kind of creative being you want to believe in that makes your life better, you're welcome to believe it in this space. Yeah, for sure. I love that. That you don't want to have to touch. I don't know if you, where did you? The sheep that are not of this fold are definitely aliens, 100%. Aliens are real, y'all. Like, in fact, do you want to know my actual, this is not a joke. Do you want to know what I really think about aliens? This is what I think about aliens. When I was polygamist, my world was this big, and I had no concept of the broader world, right? So this was my world as a polygamist, and this was the United States of America. And I didn't understand in my tiny little polygamist world how big the world of the United States of America was. It's the same thing with our world, the world that we live in, and aliens, right? We exist within that world. We just don't move in that world. 100%, yeah. Well, and I won't even call them guys. The humans with the big muscles, they're in charge of moving shit. How long I've been out of the plig world? So I left in stages. So I left the AUB and I joined the LDS church in 2009 or 10. I left the compound. So I left the compound and went out into the world in 2007. And then I joined the LDS church in 2009. And then I left the LDS church in 2015. And then from 2015 until about 2 years ago, I was deconstructing and healing and sort of reorganizing my life. Because I had built a life on the assumption that Mormonism was true and not based on what my actual real life desires were. And so in the process of healing and discovering who I really was and doing therapy, there were a lot of things that needed to shift in my life. A big one of those was my marriage. And so I took some time to kind of intentionally deconstruct those parts of my life so that I could live a more authentic life that was true to who I was, while also honoring the life that I'd created within that world. A lot of things. So there were a couple of different things that made me deconstruct. The big one, the big moment when I realized that it wasn't literally true anymore was when I was this is probably in 2011 or 12. I got really sick. I got the flu really bad for about a week, and I got super dehydrated. And then I had a little bit of a psychotic break where I kind of like lost it. I hallucinated for a little while. I ended up in the hospital and they gave me fluids and I was able to kind of like calm down. But during that process, I was taken, my ex-wife took me to the Mormon bishop in our ward and he called over the stake president and they thought that I had a demon. And so they tried to exorcise a demon from me. And what I actually needed was water. And so when I realized that after I'd kind of come back to myself in the hospital, that was a big moment for me because I realized that I had believed that this thing was literally true and it wasn't. Because if it were literally true that God created Mormonism and gave these Mormon men the power of the priesthood, which is the literal authority to act in God's name and to have a divine connection to God. And what I needed was water, that when they were trying to cast the devil out of me, God would have come down and whispered and been like, hey, just give him some water. He just needs some water, right? And so that was the first moment where I was like, oh, this isn't literally true. So maybe it's metaphorically, maybe it's mythically true. Maybe it's good, right? So I let go of the idea that maybe Mormonism was true and maybe it was good. But once you do that, then I had to then define what good meant. And then I had to started to hold the church accountable for what I thought was good and what wasn't good. And ultimately that led me down a path of realizing that the LDS church was still deeply racist and deeply misogynistic, that there wasn't really any true difference between how women were treated in the LDS church versus how they were treated in the AUB, because functionally they didn't have, in the LDS church and in the AUB, they don't have the priesthood, meaning that women do not have any power. They have no structural power within the system. And so they really are dependent on the goodwill of the men. And so when that happened, there was a movement in 2014, I think, called Ordained Women, where there was a woman named Kate Kelly, who was an active LDS member, who basically just wanted the prophets of the LDS church to ask God if it was okay for women to have the priesthood. And rather than doing that, they excommunicated her. And when they excommunicated her, they also excommunicated a guy named John Dehlin, who some of you may know as the person who started Mormon Stories. And I had never heard of John Dehlin. And so when they excommunicated Kate Kelly, who I was an advocate for, I actually went and marched with her in 2014, I think. When they excommunicated her and they also excommunicated this John Dehlin guy, I was like, who's John Dehlin? I Googled him. And then I got onto Mormon Stories. And that's when I learned all of the lies that I'd been told about Mormonism and the ways that the history had been lied about or obfuscated. There it is. And that led me to, that ultimately is what kicked me out. The final straw for me was in late 2014, I think the LDS Church published a series of essays where they tried to explain away some of these problematic parts of church history. One of them was about Joseph Smith marrying teenagers. And I had never been taught that. Even as a polygamist, we'd been told that that was a lie. That was an anti-Mormon lie. And the church admitted that that was true in their essays. And this is actually still on the LDS Church's website. And again, remember, the LDS Church is a multinational corporation that exists in almost every country around the world that is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And they, when confronted with irrefutable evidence of Joseph Smith's pedophilia and sexual predation, rather than saying what they should have said, which is Joseph Smith was a pedophile, we unequivocally denounced that practice. They wrote in their essay, you can still find it on their website today, they acknowledged that he married this girl named Helen Mar Kimball, and they say Helen Mar Kimball was sealed to Joseph Smith several months before her 15th birthday. And I'll just let that sink in for a little bit. 15 is not okay. Right? It's not like they can, if we can just get it to 15, then it will be fine. No, that's appalling. That's disgusting. And so that was the moment when I realized, not only is this organization not true, it's also not good. Because a good organization would respond responsibly and would say, this happened. We are so sorry that this happened. And we unequivocally denounce this practice. It is not okay. This was in 2014. And let's see, I saw a question. Bree, to answer your question, it's not that I didn't believe that Joseph Smith was polygamist. It's that, because we did believe that Joseph Smith was polygamist, it's that I was taught that he didn't marry teenagers. And so I was taught that was just something that the FLDS church did, and the FLDS church, they were crazy. And hey, Zandra, Belafontaine, welcome. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. And I'm looking at your picture. I like your hair. Is it purple? Anyway, I think that's about it for me, guys. Thanks for, oh, Alexis. Hey. Hey, you. P-Fuzz. Hey, I saw you on live last night. You were jamming on your violin. Is my ex still LDS? No, my ex is, we left the LDS church at the same time. She is still a Christian, though. So we have some different views about religion for sure. I think I can probably take like one or two more questions, and then I'm gonna go hang out with my kids, and we'll do some cool shit. So a couple more. Thanks. I like the ponies too. My favorite thing about the ponytails is, well, two things. Two things are my favorite about the ponytails. Number one is I love watching, especially men, do a double take on me. Like, I love that. They're always like, and they're like, I guess that's okay. And then I also love how many compliments I get. I get complimented constantly on the pigtails. And, I think it's going to be a new thing. I think men should have pigtails. I think they should. Did Cody and Robin spiritually marry before the show claimed they did? I don't believe that. There's nothing that I know or have experienced that makes me think that they didn't get married when they said they got married. Thanks. I love the t-shirt too. I just want to be clear. This was a gift. Someone gave this to me. So someone else told me that I was brilliant AF. And I was like, I acknowledge that and I will wear that shirt. Have I seen the HBO show Big Love? I have seen, I think, the first episode. I should do a response to that. Maybe when I'm done with Sister Wives. Janelle said that Wynn tried to set her up with Cody's brother. Which brother was it? I don't know anything about that, but I would imagine that was probably my dad. If that's true, then the only brother that would make sense would probably be my dad. Is it? Yeah, so in the LDS church, long hair is still considered a no-no, which is wild because like and beards too. Does my dad have more than one wife? Yeah, he had two for most of my life. When he got married to two women at the same time, and then I'm my mom's oldest. I'm my dad's third. And then when I was 5 or 6, he married another woman, but that marriage only lasted for like a year. And then she bailed. I think that there's something changing in the culture with the LDS church where they're trying to be a little more hip and cool, especially I think on TikTok. So that could be what's going on. Am I still in contact with my moms? So I do not have a great relationship with my other mom. She was not kind to me when I was a child. A lot of the jealousy that should have been directed towards my mom got, dispersed down onto me. And so I'm not really interested in a relationship with her because she was really mean to me when I was a kid, like very cruel. And my relationship with my mom is a little nebulous right now. So I'm not in contact with my dad, like I mentioned earlier. And my mom comes down sometimes to watch my kids when I can't. So she was just down here like a couple weeks ago. I was down in Austin at an event, and she came down for the weekend and watched my kids, which was really great. She's really lovely to them. They really enjoy her. They do like, one of the things that's kind of funny about my kids is that they like doing plig things. So like my mom came down once and they canned applesauce together and they love that. So I really value that. I like that, but I don't have a close relationship with her because I don't know. It doesn't feel, there's not a lot of emotional safety between me and my mom right now. I think mostly because of the tension between me and my dad. And I don't know how. I recently reached out to her and just let her know that that's how I felt. And I asked if she would be open to a conversation about that. And she never responded. So I don't know. I don't know where things are at with my mom. So thoughts on the LDS Church. This is actually one of the reasons why I declared myself the Mormon prophet, is that I think that the LDS Church is trying to sneak away from its cultish past to continue to be legitimate and exist without acknowledging the harm that it's caused. And I say, fuck that. Like, they don't get to do that. They don't get to abuse and manipulate and extort millions of people for 200 years and then pretend like they didn't do it. So I think that what they're trying to do is to just be another Christian church, and they're not. They are not another Christian church. They are a cult. They are a cult with a capital C. They cause real harm in the world. They have sexual problems with children on the level of the Catholic Church. They have manipulated and extorted and abused humans for almost 200 years, and they don't get to walk away with that and just pretend like that didn't happen. The last drop of nectar. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I had a lot of fun with you. Thanks for joining me for this live, and have a happy Sunday, and go do something super wicked today to celebrate the truth of God and humanity in this world.